Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, we shall be looking at another questions in which we need to calculate the sum of the given GP. So let's have a look at this question. This question says here that a person has two parents, right? This is true for each person. They have two parents, they have four grandparents, they have 8 grandparents and so on, right? The number keeps on increasing. So if one person is wondering and wants to know about his ancestors during the 10 generations preceding his own. So the question is, you need to tell the number of your ancestors during the 10 generations preceding your own. So that means initially A is 2 because we start with two parents, correct? So and the common ratio is again 2 because initially there were two parents, then for those two parents there were 4 grandparents, then 8 grandparents, great grandparents, and 16 and 32 and so on. So they are saying up to 10 generations what would be the sum, right? So let's calculate the sum. Here A is given to be 2, R is given to be 2, N is given to be 10 because we wanted to calculate it for 10 generations. So here 2 is greater than 1, so we will use the formula of sum as A into R raised to power n minus 1 divided by R minus 1. So the value of n is 10, right? So therefore it is 2 into 2 raised to power 10 minus 1 divided by 2 minus 1. So 2 minus 1 is just 1, so it is 2 into 2 raised to power 10 minus 1. You know 2 raised to power 10 is 1024, you can calculate it. So after calculation you have 2046 as your answer. So you see the number of ancestors which are preceding the person for 10 generations, they are 2064, right? So this is the answer to this question. Now let's move forward and look at the next question. The next question is very interesting and you might be confused in order to solve it at once. So let's have a look what kind of question it is and how can we solve it. We need to find the sum of this sequence 7, 77, 777, 7777 and so on. So now, is this sequence an AP or is it a GP? You can pause the video and think for the answer. My answer is no, it is not an AP, it is not a GP. So how do we calculate the sum of this sequence? Do we know any method? Actually, we need to manipulate the terms in order to make it a GP or an AP. So how can we do that? Let's have a look. So in order to calculate the sum here, Sn, what we can do, we can take 7 common from all these terms. So we need to calculate 7 plus 77 plus 777 plus 7777 and so on, correct? So we can take 7 common from these terms. So we would be left with 1 plus 11 plus 111 plus 1111 and so on. And we can multiply and divide by 9. Now you will be seeing this in a moment why we are doing this thing. Because we wanted to make it a AP or a GP. Right, as such you see the difference is not constant in each of the terms, so therefore it is not an AP, right? And moreover, if you divide the terms, you see the ratio is also not constant, so therefore it is also not a GP, right? However, if you multiply by 9, you would have the terms 9, 99, 999, 9999 and so on. Now you may write 9 as 10 minus 1, you may write 99 as 100 minus 1, right? You may write 999 as 1000 minus 1. You may write 9999 as 10,000 minus 1, right? So now you see this 10, 100, 1000 and 10,000, they form a GP with common ratio 10. And the terms minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1 up to n times would be clubbed together so that we have this kind of expression so that we may write these terms separately, 10, 100, 1000, 10,000. So it would form a GP with the first term as 10, the common ratio as 10, right? The other terms minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, how many times? N times, right? So these could be clubbed together and they form an AP with common difference as 0, right? So basically here or you can say it forms a GP with R is equal to 1, right? The common ratio is equal to 1. So you can either form use either formula in order to solve this one. It forms also a GP or a AP. GP with common ratio 1, AP with common difference as 0, right? Now you know the formulas in order to solve this, and in order to solve this, so we can make use of them for solving GP where R is greater than 1. We have this formula A into R raised to power n minus 1 divided by R minus 1. So we may imply it here. Because the first term is 10, the common ratio is 10, so this is the formula. And for AP, we have this formula of sum n by 2, 2a plus n minus 1d. D is 0, right? So this term would be 0. So we are left with n by 2, 2 into the first term, which is minus 1. So it would 2 and 2 would be cancelled, it would be minus n. So you see, this is our answer, 7 by 9, 10 by 9 into 10 raised to power n minus 1 minus n. Because we do not know the value of n, so we may leave our answer up to this term. So I hope you understood these questions well. Well, that is it for this video. Thank you for watching.